Here we are with our second job on the Sprinter van conversion. We're going to take out the front double seat today and put in a single seat box. There's some bolts down there that look like they need to come out, and if we move our way around here, looks like we've got some bolts down there that we need to take out as well. So this whole unit's going to come out and a single seat box go in. So here we go, fingers crossed.
16mm socket.
Oh, looks like we're using a 16mm socket. So hopefully we've got all the tools for the job. Okay, well, we've got all the bolts out, as you can see down there, and the ones inside. Just taking off the seat belt fixing now. And there was also a wire that had to come off as well. There's a red wire down there, which is connected to the heater, isn't it?
That's the live feed for the Everspatcher heater.
There you go, the live feed for the Everspatcher heater, as you probably heard. So we had to take that out from under the seat as well. So it's been moved back a fraction. So we're now going to move the whole thing back, hopefully. Okay, seat is now removed, the double seat. So that'll probably go on eBay at some point. But this is what we're left with now. So you can see. So the idea is to put the single seat base in. We have a seat already as well. So fingers crossed, it's a straightforward job.
The battery was disconnected at the negative, just to be on the safe side. We don't think there's a problem with the ECU in disconnecting the switch for the seat belt connector. But just to be on the safe side. Plus there was also some wiring that we wanted to take out. There was a 16mm positive feed that was going to some kind of isolator that had been disconnected. And also, as Sue said, the Everspatcher.
Okay, stage 2 or 3, whichever one we're at. Now we're going to see if the seat box lines up. Fingers crossed. So as you can see down there, it looks like the bolt holes line up okay.
They line up very nicely.
Certainly on the back they do, and they appear to line up, as you may well see, at the front as well. So, good job so far. Okay, the seat base has gone in, all the bolts line up. So they're all back in place, and we've also replaced the bolts in those holes, which are now vacant of any other seat bracket. So it's always good to fill the holes in. So the swivel base is now coming in.
Probably the wrong way up.
Probably the wrong way up. So it's definitely the right side. We weren't too sure to start with.
It's also definitely very heavy.
But it's now sitting on top of the new seat box. Oh yes, I do believe that's how it twiddles. So we'll just shut down the video so we can get on and bolt a few more bits on. Go for it.
Okay, so the seat is now in place. The base is fairly firmly fixed to the floor of the van, but the swivel and the seat bolts to the swivel are only just loosely in place, so we can just try it, and all seems to be good. Sue's just checked it out, and you do get a bit of a height difference at this side, with Sue's feet probably being about that far off the floor, but we're thinking about putting a plinth in around here, so that's probably definite. I think you'll probably be okay when it's facing forward, because the floor insulation's still got to go back in again. Still got to put the seat belt back on again, and that's going to need a little bit of work, because I can't easily see how this bolt as supplied is going to fit at the moment. So it's quite cold today, and we're going to go indoors and do a Google translation on the instructions which come with these seats, which are in German. So these are Sportscraft swivels, and the instructions are in German and black and white, so it's a bit like looking at Practical Motorists from 1972 when it comes to the instructions. So we'll come back on that one when we've had a chance to decipher them a little bit more. But happy at this point. We've gone from a double seat to a single swivelling seat. Can't see any major problems. We need to do a bit of trimming on the trim at the sides where it's catching, but we were expecting that. So I think to sum up, pretty happy. They're very substantial, incredibly heavy. A little bit of fiddling to get the nuts and bolts in, probably because the seat base twists a little bit when you bolt it down to the floor. But yeah, for an hour and a half's work to this point, pretty pleased.
We've fitted the swivel plate on, but these side panels, which Dave will point to with a little pinky, were too long and were catching, so we've taken the first bit off, but it needs fractionally a little bit more. So the angle grinder has been a good tool for this, so he's just going to whiz along it and take the fraction more off. Okay, so it's taken a little bit more off. Had to do the same on both sides. But once that's done, there's no obstruction to turning the seat at all, so we'll give it another try.
And while we're talking about seats, and we'll maybe talk about this a little bit more further on, the second passenger seat is fitted with a seatbelt tensioner sensor, which is connected into the ECU of the van. If you disconnect this and actually start the van, it will come up with a warning light on the dash, an SRS light I think it's called. The fix for this is to install a 2.2 ohm quarter watt resistor across the blue, red and white orange wires there. I've cut the original connector off that plugged onto the seat itself and soldered on and heat shrunk this resistor. Put a little diagram of that on further on. I should say at this point, since it's fiddling with the electrical safety systems of the van, I'm not recommending that or validating it in any way, shape or form. Nothing to do with Mercedes-Benz. It's purely your decision if you decide to do it. Check it out on the internet yourself as well. That's where I found the tip on how to do it. But if you don't do it, you get a warning light on the dashboard, and I believe only someone with test gear can actually turn that one off for you. So there's a warning for you.